Good morning. I'm Adam Ziegler, Operations Chief with Rocky Mountain Complex Incident Management Team 2 with your morning fire update for July 20th for the Gold Mountain Fire. We'll start down again in it's actually a division, Alpha Delta. Everything is still looking good in Alpha Delta. They're still patrolling, not really finding any sources of heat, but making sure we double check all that line to make sure it stays in contained status. Moving forward in Alpha Delta, they're looking at suppression repair activities. The primary focus of these suppression repair activities is focused on erosion control at this point. So with the monsoonal moisture coming up from the south, we want to make sure that any disturbances that we've had in the area, we have put water bars or debris on that line to prevent any erosion. They're also continuing to backhaul any hose that is not needed off the lines so we can get that out of there and get it back to the cache and get it back into the system for any other fires that may need that. Moving up into Division Foxtrot, they still continue to mop up and patrol the fire line where the fires come down to the line. They also continue the direct attack line construction on the north side of Division Foxtrot, working that up to tie it into the rimrock. Progress is going really well in there, and we did just get a new hotshot trainee crew in there, so it's a very skilled crew that's working on their IHC status, so it's a good fit for the mission in there as it's very steep terrain and that skill set is needed in there. We did run quite a few helicopters in there yesterday to cool that edge off to allow the crews to work in there. They were dipping down below, so you probably saw a lot of fire aviation traffic in there yesterday supporting those firefighters. As we move up into Division Hotel and Kilo, their indirect lines are they're in place. They're just putting the finishing touches up on those. They're chipping any debris that was created by the suppression efforts and just finishing the last touches of mulching and getting any hose lays, pumps, and filling the tanks up in there as needed. Moving around to Division Papa, progress is going well in there. That's kind of the most labor-intensive area of this fire as far as getting that line in. Very thick timber, a lot of work, but making good progress. We're looking at a couple more days in there, and they'll be starting to move resources out of Papa. Down into Division Romeo, spread out as they have been every day, really 3 different operations going in Romeo. Down here on the south end, they still have the confinement strategy going in the East Fork where we had the spot fire come over the Pinnacle Ridge. We do have a crew in there prepping a road bed that was in there previously, and then bringing a line up the drainage and then tying that into a natural feature to herd that back up into the rocks there. They'll be in there a few more days. They're getting that line in. They're going to put some pumps and then also put sprinklers along that line to help bolster the line. Moving further north in Division Romeo, they have finished the prep on the 858 road. We do have the snagging operation done. Snagging is removing any dead trees that could start on fire and fall on the line and injure firefighters or damage equipment. They continue to work the secondary line around the east side of the Cimarron structures and then move that to the east up into Division Uniform. Uniform continues to work down High Mesa, making good progress. Probably 3 days left on that line before they have it tied in, and they're taking that line down to the bottom, down to the Little Cimarron River and the 864, and that's their tie-in point for that 864 road. The structure group has just all those resources went into Division Romeo because that's the area they were working. So those resources are still in there providing for structure protection. We have a couple layers of structure protection. We have that line all the way around these structures designed to keep the fire out of there. And then the secondary is we do have point protection on those structures, primarily using sprinklers hooked to our fire pumps coming off either natural water sources, ponds, creeks, or portable tanks that we have hauled up there to supply the water with. We do have our night shift still staffed, so they're out there able to respond as needed after hours when the majority of our resources come off the line. And Division Zulu down here is still looking really good. I was able to get up and fly that yesterday. A couple little smokes up there, but still definitely within the rocks without really anywhere to go down in here. So that is looking very good. That's the end of your morning report. Hopefully you all had a good weekend, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.